Welcome on in, soccer fans, football fans from around the globe. It's another episode here of Between the Posts, where I'm your host, Jason Madison. I'm joined each and every week by Matt Lawrence. How's it going, man?
Jason, it's great to be with you on a Friday morning. The Premier League's coming up this weekend, some huge matches, so I'm really looking forward to breaking everything down with you.
Huge matchups and also an interesting weekend. I don't know. Do you find this week tricky going into international break, or is it just same old, kind of thing?
I do. Yeah, it's definitely it's a tricky week. I think that there's going to be some draws in the mix this week, and so yeah. But yeah, you're just trying to find the teams basically right now that you feel like are firing in the first 2 weeks. Try to ride that out before the international break because, as we know, things change in this league so quickly. It looks like Ronaldo might be on his way to Manchester United.
Don't say that. I don't want that. Everybody knows I'm a United fan. I do not want that. Just his presence on a team and what he means to a team. I don't want it. I want his quality, but I don't want him. You know what I mean?
hmm Oh yeah, no, it's a done deal though, Jason. You're gonna have to live with it.
Can't Pep just make it happen? I thought that was a done deal. Now you're telling me
Thought
United's a
that
done.
was
What is the
too.
done deal?
I don't know what is going on, but it sounds like it is like 95% of the way to United.
It's getting fun because, as you mentioned, got a couple transfers that'll get sewn up here in the last couple of weeks, and then the Champions League draw was the other day, and that always is exciting. You're kind of get to me, it's not the business part, what people technically call the business part of the season, but when you start getting midweek games, Champions League, I consider that the business part. And I saw where you
Yep.
put out your 10 quick observations. I love those observations. I encourage people to again follow you on Twitter if they're not already at MattJ_Lawrence. I loved your 10 quick observations from the Champions League draw. Really good stuff there.
Yeah, no, the draw it's really, really, it's a good one. There's a couple fantastic groups. I think United are going to top that group. I know that that's one of my observations. So, yeah, I can't wait for the Champions League. It's one of my favorites. I don't know if I like it even more or less than the Premier League. They're both just so high up.
They are,
So,
yeah. I cringed a little bit when they pulled out Villarreal, obviously beating us in the final a few months ago. I was like, God damn it, why did we get Villarreal?
I know Unai Emery, that'll be interesting again, but you should be more than fine against them, I think.
Yeah. All right, let's go ahead and turn the page here to the Premier League. Let's remind everybody that BetUS it goes ahead and sponsors this show. In this video description, you can find their information there. It's a great sports books. I encourage you guys to add it on. If you guys knew how many sports books I use, it's in almost in the double digits. That's how many sports books I use. You can never hurt yourself in terms of finding the best line and the best value. Go ahead in this video description. There's a sign up link. Matt and I would greatly appreciate it if you wanted to sign up. If you signed up via our video or our sign up description right there. Two great things I have: sign up bonuses. Great sign up bonuses. Better in DraftKings, better in FanDuel's, better in PointsBet. Their sign up bonuses are incredible. And then if you use cryptocurrency, if that's your thing, they also accept cryptocurrency. So go check them out. It's BetUS. Let's go ahead and get in now to our show. What we do is we start off each and every show by doing a 90-second recap of the previous match week. Let's let Matt go first. He gets a recap in match week 2 any way he wants. 90 seconds. Let's have at it.
All right, United and over 1.5. I blame Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Immediately just putting out the worst lineup possible, really. So he was a thorn in everyone's side, I think, last week, and it was a trappy line because of it. So yeah, we took an L there. Chelsea and under 3.5 against Arsenal at a nice plus 140 saved my weekend. It made me actually in the black. So another winning week, which I'm happy about. Was disappointed with the Callum Wilson. I thought that he was on sides, which would have led to a penalty. So both teams would have scored in the Villa Newcastle, but that's the way that it goes sometimes. Tight margins and an easy winner with Leeds Everton. Both teams are scoring over 2.5. That one was that cash in the 50th minute. So love that. So yeah, scraped another week of profit. Happy about it.
Yep, as you should be. All right, I'll go ahead and recap the week. And I went 4-2 and had the same Manchester United pain. If United wins, I would have gone 6-0 last week, and obviously just had a phenomenal week. But with the loss, I went 4-2 plus 1.64 units. You guys know I won over a unit in match week 1, so 2 weeks up over a unit in each match week. We'll never complain about that. But damn, Manchester United, it always hurts when like your team ruins the bet. You know what I mean? Like it can be like Man City. It's like, whatever, but when it's your team, why is it got to be your team ruining the bet? So that was really unfortunate. I didn't give out any West Ham bets, but we mentioned following us on Twitter. I went 2-0 in that West Ham game, got draw no bet, and got Antonio up over his shots on target. Also gave out a same game parlay for Manchester City Norwich. Knew they would smash Norwich. Norwich had one shot, and it came in like 85 or something. I actually smashed them. So won a nice plus 700 same game parlay right there. And because I updated it last week, I'll update it again today. I mean, as long as I'm winning, another win in fantasy football, baby. Antonio saved me. Went into the last game down. We all know Antonio hit at that brace, and that was just enough to give me a nice 2-point victory in fantasy football. So now 2-0 on the season. As long as I'm winning, I'm going to recap that. I mean, shit.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic. Not to cut you off, but I had a really fun time live betting West Ham Leicester. I probably scraped about 2.5 units just in that. That's one thing is live betting is what I've really gotten good at over the last couple seasons. I've really honed my craft on that. And yeah, I didn't really put him out there, but I was just kind of in the zone on a Monday. I was also working a little bit, but then I was just checking up. And when Leicester scored that equalizer, or when they scored that goal, I guess it was, I just started just taking West Ham to score next, and I took it again, getting like plus 150s, plus 200s. They were coming in, Antonio to score. It was a great live betting match.
Yeah, I've mentioned that before. You've got to follow Matt for his live betting. I saw where you also live bet Monaco to score first, and they scored. So you're a great follow on Twitter. Your live betting is certainly, it's on point. So yeah, Matt's great there on live betting. So give him a follow on Twitter, MattJ_Lawrence right there. Guys, if you're sitting there watching this video, hit that like button. Let us know. That's going to encourage us. Hit that like button because some winners are coming. And also, I've got the comment section open. It may be hard to read and interact with you guys, but just like each and every week, I go back and read every single comment. So I encourage you guys to drop in a comment. Let's let Matt go first. Let's start breaking down these games for the people. Manchester City, Arsenal. How are you going to break this one down for the people?
Oh, gosh. This one is – I wish that I would have just grabbed it immediately last week. I think that you might have. City, Arsenal. City dominate this fixture. I believe that I think the goal differential the last 8 or 9 matches is 17-2 or something. It's bad for Arsenal. They're in a bad run, but at least they won in the midweek against a backup West Brom side, but still getting Aubameyang to just fire in a hat trick really quick. I think that'll give them just a small boost going into this one. And they did beat Man City in the FA Cup. I believe it was last season. So they've gotten the better of them. They know what to do here. They're going to sit back and play extremely tight. I think that this is the best time to play City. There's going to be no KDB. There's some, it's just some absentees of this City lineup that are a concern, and that's one of the reasons I'm off of City here. But I something tells me that Arsenal are going to score here on the counterattack with Aubameyang and Saka. I'm not sure. I've got a few different angles in this one, and that for me then makes it a pass. I kind of think that under 3 goals is a look, but then I'm also thinking that Arsenal might be able to contribute. So that doesn't really make a ton of sense. So yeah, I've just completely left this one.
Okay. Yeah, as you mentioned, I did actually tweet out a bet on this. I believe it was Tuesday. Manchester United -1.5, and you got that at plus money at 105. And simple logic with that bet is I see Manchester City winning the game. So then it's kind of like a coin flip to double your money. Can they win by 1 or will they win by 2 or more? I think with the current form, obviously with how City's been hitting, this game's at the Etihad. I expect them to dominate this game. Even though Arteta, worked up under Guardiola, it's not like he's having much success. The last 3 Premier League head-to-heads have all gone City's way. There's tape on it, and he still can't figure out Guardiola. So, yeah, just how these two teams are playing in the current moment, I'm all over City. You mentioned that midweek game there against West Brom. They fielded a really strong lineup. I cleaned up, actually, on that game. And I just think that speaks to maybe how Arsenal's trying to find it, trying to get it going. They took that match really, really serious, while West Brom played a lot of their kids outside of Snodgrass. There was just tons of kids on that game, or on that pitch right there. So I'm all on Manchester City. I think they'll handle Arsenal. I think they'll win by 2+. Probably will be low scoring, like you said, just because the fixtures have been between them since Arteta has shown up. But Manchester City all day long for me in that one. So that'd be my bet in that one is Man City -1.5. If we move it over here to Aston Villa versus Brentford, I'll go first. Looking for Villa to bounce back, or they did bounce back versus Newcastle, winning 2-0. The thing, though, that gave me a little bit of pause, and I didn't watch that game, wasn't one of the ones I watched this week, but they only had 2 shots on target. So I didn't watch it, but man, only 2 shots on target at home against Newcastle. That gave me a little bit of pause. And then the thing that gives me pause about Brentford is maybe about how they're going to play it, is maybe they'll be a team. We don't really have a lot of experience with them being newly promoted. Maybe they'll be a team that like really fights for just 1 point every time they go on the road, because they didn't do all that much against Crystal Palace. They only had 3 shots on target, and Crystal Palace is terrible. They had 50-50 possession in that game, but only 3 shots on target. Give them credit, though. They did stop a Zaha Benteke line there for Crystal Palace. But I see this one under. My lean in this game would be under 2.5. Nothing is really inspiring me too much. I like how Brentford's been good on that defensive side of the ball. So I would lean under 2.5 in this one for me.
Jason, I think it's a fantastic lean. It makes me want to get in and play this one, because I feel the exact same way. I think that you broke that down to a T. That was extremely on point. When you're looking at Aston Villa, still, the inclusion of new faces and new names, and they've had one goal from open play thus far, and that was the Ings Worldy.
Yeah.
I mean, so they haven't really. I mean, that's a once every 20 type of goals or more that Ings scored. So it's like they really haven't even had a goal from open play. I mean, that was just a worldie. So Brentford, we saw how solid they were against Arsenal when they took a 2-0 lead. They were able to hang in there, hang tight, and they were able to keep it tight as well. And then when I look back into some of the championship matches, they were extremely tight on the road as well. So it looks like that's the way that they want to go about it. And so I don't see where the goals are coming from. I really don't. I think that this might be one of the better. This is probably the strongest lean that I have right now on the entire card. And I think that I might end up playing this one. And I would definitely send that out on Twitter, because this is one that I'm looking at, and I'm scratching my head. I don't see goals here. I don't see goals.
Oh, yeah, and the value is pretty good on this one. The last line I saw was -112, so under 2.5,
Yeah,
-112.
It's a 50-50 line, really. So I think that I'd be shocked.
Yeah, right there with you. All right, moving on over now to Brighton versus Everton. You want to go first on this fixture?
Brighton Everton. So I'd be looking at goals here, just the way that the two teams set up. Brighton probably are going to dominate possession here. I'd say it might be a 60-40 in Brighton, which is just crazy. But, I mean, when you're looking how Rafa Benitez wants to set up, I think that that's what he loves. He loves giving away possession. Yeah. And that's what he did last week, really, against Leeds. Just hand it over a bit. We'll take it late on, and we'll try and create some things. But we want to set up solidly. We want to set up compact, and we want to get our quick, pacey players out on the break. And Richarlison, Calvert-Lewin, they're clinical finishers. We've talked about Townsend as a decent addition. Even Damari Gray last week got off and scored a goal. That's going to be huge for his confidence, because he's got a ton of talent. He's just never really been able to put it all together. Kind of shocked that Everton were this big of a dog, I guess, when I first saw it. But this line hasn't moved an inch. And, but Brighton have been fantastic. It sounds like Maupay, though, is going to miss. I haven't seen that, but that's what I heard earlier, is that he might miss this one. So, taking away a decent finisher in front of goal, again, I don't see Everton being beat here. Let's just say that. I think that they're going to set up solidly, and they're going to be able to hit them on the break. I would much rather be on Everton if I'm picking a side. But then when you're looking at either the both teams to score, or maybe just an over 2. You might have to lay like a -140 price on that, but I do see there being 2 goals here minimum. That's kind of just how I see this one. And until I see lineups, I'm off of it.
Yeah, I think that lineup, this could be a good lineup checker, because as you mentioned, Maupay, he's questionable with the shoulder. That's what he's battling right now, is a shoulder injury. So he's definitely worth, obviously being a big lineup checker. You guys know I'm on Brighton. Brighton was one of my leans last weekend. Obviously that cash. Brighton's 2-0 in the season, beating Burnley, beating Wofford. I think they looked good in really both of those fixtures. I think you're right. Brighton will have most of this possession. And if we look at what Everton did last week, they only had 30% of the possession. They got 17 shots, and 8 of those were on target, and only 30% of possession. So to your point, that's what Benitez wants to do. But then when they do have that ball, they're really good with the ball. So I thought that was impressive up against the lead size last weekend. Everton, they've looked good in their 2 games, a 3-1 and a 2-2 finish. I see this game because it's at Brighton. Brighton's just going to go for it. It's a home fixture for them. They'll have that crowd. They can go for it and get goals. I'm with you. There will be goals in this fixture. Both teams to score is at -105. I am all over both teams to score in this picture at -105. I love that right there. And then you don't have to worry about picking a side. I'm with you. Everton is certainly the better side. I think they will come out with the result, whether that's 1 point or 3 points. But to me, it's don't worry about it. I see goals in this, and at -105 for both teams to score, that's where I fall in that fixture right there.
Yeah.
Let's move over now to what do we got here? Newcastle versus Southampton. This one to me is tricky for me because Newcastle are 0-2 on the season. I worry that Steve Bruce before the international break might just drop into a shell and say, we need a point before international break. We haven't done anything so far this campaign. And that's what worries me is do they just get super defensive here and just frustrate Southampton? Southampton coming off a nice draw there against Manchester United. Yeah, maybe they didn't deserve a draw in terms of, but they got the draw, so that's what happened right there. But if I look at this game, I would be really nervous about how Newcastle sets up. I really would want to check the lineups on this and more their formation. The formation will tell you how Steve Bruce wants to attack this one. So I predict them to kind of be defensively just to try and scrape out a point, even though it is at home. I would lean under 2.5. You can also get Newcastle in the draw no bet at -220, but those would be my kind of plays right there is draw no bet or under 2.5 in this one.
So I would be against you a little bit on this one just because, okay, so I get what you're saying with Bruce. They need a point. One of these teams, I mean, I guess Southampton did collect a point against your United last week. But so I just see that both offenses are more quality than both defenses. And I worry that Newcastle, I think that they need to dip their toes in before this window's closed because they need another center half. They're just not, or at least a fullback or something, because they need to improve this defense to try and, so they can play Steve Bruce ball, because I don't know if they can right now. I don't even know if Newcastle sit all the way back and invite pressure from James Ward-Prowse pinging balls around, I'm not sure that they'll be able to hang on here. And they're going to be at home. The Magpies fans, I mean, they're going to be going all in on this one. And I still just I see that Newcastle are an over team as long as they've got that front four up top. Again, I agree with you. This is a lineup checker, but I would be looking towards goals here. I think that Newcastle still can score. They didn't look great last week, and that's the problem is I love this lineup, and if they had someone like a Graham Potter as the manager in this one, they'd be scoring goals for fun, I think. But then when you do combine the Bruce, it does kind of throw a wrench in it. But I think that goals here, though, I still want to be on Newcastle overs. I'm just want to continue, and with Adams, and it sounds like Armstrong might be a doubt for Southampton, but I just see that both of these defenses are a bit tiresome, just lacking quality in general. So yeah, I would be looking towards overs.
If you don't have that price handy, by all means, that's fine. But you don't know what over 2.5 is. I know the under when I had it.
It's like minus 120.
Okay.
It's a very normal price. It's like -120, -125.
Sweet. I love going head to head. I love it. Love going head to head.
That'll be our first leaning head to head. So it's like,
I love it. Yeah, under 1.5 for everybody was at -105. So you're at -120. So whatever. Okay, cool. We got Norwich versus Leicester here. Norwich has looked bad. I mean, it's just bad. But to give them credit, they've gone up against Liverpool and City. I mentioned how they didn't touch the ball hardly up against City. Again, only one shot in that game very, very late. Unfortunate for them, they're going up against another team that's a top 6 team. And Leicester, this price has been funny because before the West Ham game, Leicester was at -135. You now get Leicester money line at -114. I don't know what the people are scared of. They went up against West Ham at the Hammers. I was all over the Hammers. I thought they were going to win that game. We cashed on that game, and they obviously went down around the 60 or so minute, down to 10 men, so they were reduced there. Of course, they struggled against West Ham. West Ham is full of attacking, and they were at home. I don't understand why this line went from minus 135 to minus 114. I think Leicester can get it done. This is a perfect bounce back opponent up against Norwich. I don't see Norwich getting it done here. They're going to get points, but it's not going to be obviously in this first 3 games of their fixture. They just had a brutal opening, fixture list to their campaign. So perfect opportunity to Leicester to bounce back. I see them winning. Maybe Norwich does get on the score sheet. That's fine. They'll have their home crowd, and Leicester can be exposed in the back, but Leicester will pull out the win. So my lean here would be Leicester on that money line at minus 114. Oh, nice. You're on Norwich. I love it.
Head to head. No, so again, this is. I think that this is the trap of the week. I think that this smells like Norwich are going to be able to be competitive here, in my opinion. And I think just throw the first 2 games out the window. That's what we talked about. And before week 1 started, I said, Jason, these first 2 matches, Liverpool and City, just your season starts in week 3.
Right.
It really does. I mean, it starts right now for Norwich. And they normally have a pretty good home fan base there, good crowd supporting them. I need to look back again. I don't have it in front of me, but I believe that this was a tight one a couple seasons ago. It was extremely close. I don't know if you have that in front of you at all. I do. Something tells me that this one was extremely close, and it had a similar line movement to it as well. I just when I'm looking at Leicester and this back line, I'm worried about it. Norwich are going to score. I think that Norwich are really going to score here. I know that they've been blanked, but man, do I have some issues with them. With Leicester's backline. I mean, Soyuncu looks like a shell of himself when he was in. I thought he was a top 5 center half in this league just a season ago, and it's not looking all that great. We talked about the Fofana issue, and now you're getting, faces in wrong places essentially, and you're having to start midfielders in your defense, and their fullbacks aren't that great. They're more so on the attacking side, and something tells me that Norwich gets something here. I think that they scrape a point. I think that they could even maybe win this match. I think that this is the smelliest match of the week.
Well, I got sucked in because I've already placed the bet. When I revealed my official bets, Leicester money line is one of my officials. So if the book sucked me in, then I got sucked in. Damn it.
What price did you get? Because if you get minus
114, I got minus 114.
That's fine. See that's. As long as you didn't grab the early minus 135, I think it was even higher at places. It was like 45 and 50. As long as you're not in that camp, then I think you're fine. The minus 110s, I couldn't really ever talk anyone off of dabbling on that because the quality is so much higher. But yeah, just some does freak me out a little bit about this one.
Well, to your point, I did look it up while you were talking. Obviously, the 2 fixtures would have been 2 seasons ago. Obviously, was a 1-1 draw. Was a 1-1 draw at Leicester, but at Carrow Road, where this one will be played, Norwich scraped out 1-0. So
yes, that's okay. Good. All right, so my memory is still somewhat decent.
That's right. It's early in Friday. You haven't had a drink yet.
Telling
so
you,
you're on point.
I'm telling you, Norwich are going to get something here.
Don't tell me that. Don't tell me that.
They are. You can hey, the cash out button is just right there on most of these websites.
Once I'm gambling, but I hear you there. All right, let's move it over. I assume West Ham Palace. Palace has got no chance in hell in this fixture, right?
No chance for me. No chance. But it's like I would almost have West Ham at minus 250 in this one.
Yeah, I don't understand. I mean, it's played at West Ham. They were super, super good in that back half of the season at home. They just weren't conceding at home. On the road, they were suspect. They could give up goals, but they weren't giving up goals really at home. So, yeah, they're going to roll past Crystal Palace. Mentioned what they did against Brentford. Absolutely nothing. And that was at home, right? If you're going to play your best football at home with your crowds, with the game plan. It did nothing against Brentford. They're not going to then go to the Hammers and get a result here. That's not going to happen, folks. So, yeah, to me, this is easy. West Ham's going to roll. It's just a matter about finding, the right angle. You can use West Ham money line as a parlay piece. You obviously can't do that alone, but it would be a good parlay piece this weekend. Or you can look at West Ham team total over 1.5. It's juicy at minus 145. But they're going to get a goal. They're going to get multiple goals up against Palace. So if you don't mind the juice, you can get that under or at 145.
Yeah. I mean, I think that I wish I just would have grabbed it just straight before at minus 150 before I just did tick up. But I don't even think it's ticked up enough. Who's on Palace here? I mean, that's the only concern is like I think that everyone on the planet is on West Ham here, but it's chemistry versus trying to develop something with a new manager. I mean, it is West Ham were so good against Leicester. I know that Leicester did go down to 10 and whatnot, and I know that they still scored a goal with 10, but my gosh, it's West Ham at home right now. The place I think that it's buzzing right now. They're in the Europa League. They're back in Europe. Like London, I think that my power rankings, I'm moving West Ham way up. I think that they have one of the best attacks when you're looking from midfield up in this league. I mean, they are going to score goals for fun. So I like your look on team total. I think that West Ham and over 1.5 looks pretty good. I played West Ham -1. Um, and I don't really know why I played that over West Ham and over 1.5. I mean, they're basically both the same kind of bets, but
Mhm.
yeah, I do. I just think that West Ham are going to score goals. I think they'll be able once they get one. I think that they're bound to get more, and again, I would have this at more like -250, and I think that West Ham, like you mentioned earlier, are a fantastic parlay piece. I think that maybe one of the better ones to pair them with. We'll talk about here shortly.
Sweet. Sounds like you and me may have the same money line parlay because I do have them dropped in a parlay with another club. But next up is the game of the week. Make no doubt about it. Do not miss this one first. We'll let Matt go first because it's his Liverpool up against Chelsea. What's going to happen here in this one, Matt?
Oh gosh, you can see that there is some love for Chelsea after Lukaku destroying Mari last week. I mean, that was, but now he's coming up against a proper center half, a Rolls Royce
Yeah, he's not
center
pushing
half.
Virgil van Dijk around. He's not going to do that.
No, and this is where I wish that this was just. I wish this matchup was like, okay. So there's one thing. Yes, we're at least catching Lukaku early, and Lukaku all last season played in a partnership with Martinez at Inter, and now he's playing all by himself. So we'll see. I thought that some of the Chelsea players didn't know what to do at times. Where I thought the Lukaku was open way more, and I thought that he should have been fed more, and some of the players didn't give it to him. And then every time it seemed like he got the ball, he shot it, which was he had
Right.
one. I took a little half unit split on him anytime, so I scraped away like barely anything, but I did win a little bit of money. And then I also took some 10-to-1s on him to have an assist. Havertz had a really good opportunity for him to get that assist, but he kicked it right at the goalkeeper. But um, yeah, I wish that Konate was ready to go. It will take Konate months. Jurgen Klopp loves waiting and when he gets newcomers in. But Konate is he's like a Lukaku. He's that size. So him and Virgil going up against Lukaku is just mouth-watering. But it's going to be and Matip and Van Dijk. They don't lose together very often. Van Dijk has never lost a match at Anfield. Also getting into the preseason. I talked about it in week 1. Liverpool have been training together. It seems like a little bit more than some of these other clubs. They had Mane and Salah that took the whole summers off. Virgil was coming back from an injury. Matip doesn't play for his club anymore. Trent Alexander-Arnold was let go because of an injury for England, so he didn't play in the Euros. Robertson, Scotland got knocked out early. Robertson is going to be back. It sounds like it's probably not going to be Tsimikas, even though I've mentioned on the show how good he's been and how he's not much of a drop-off. Hopefully Fabinho comes back, and we need Fabinho for this match. His father passed away a couple weeks ago. That's sad, and so we need him to be focused and ready to go with some emotion to him because Conte on the other side, they're just the similar type of players, your stop gaps. And then the front three is firing. Jota scored multiple goals. Mane got off the mark. Salah's gotten off the mark. Firmino off the bench. Keita is going to be the Wijnaldum replacement. He's kind of the X factor for this team, and we'll see who they pair in the other midfield spot. I would love it for it to be Thiago. this line isn't going to move a ton, and I'm just kind of sitting here waiting on it. I haven't bet it. Do I think it's an unders match? Yes, just because of Thomas Tuchel. He's always kind of in unders matches, and even last week, really, the Chelsea and under 3.5 was an easy no sweat winner. When you thought that you might be sweating early on, like, whoa, are Chelsea just going to roll over? No, Chelsea played containment ball after that and just secured an easy victory on the road at the Emirates. This is a different animal. Jurgen Klopp at Anfield is ridiculous. Him and Tuchel, they know each other very well, and they've both gotten the better of one another a few different times. Something tells me that Liverpool are going to beat them here. I really do, and that is not more. I think that's just taking logic and not really from a fan perspective. But how can you not take Virgil and the boys with a rocking Anfield 12th man? I think they've had more preparation time. I think when I was talking about all the players, and on the likes of Chelsea, all of these European players that played a lot of minutes late last season in the Champions League, in the summers, they're waiting on getting a couple new faces. Sounds like they're going to sign Koundé from Sevilla. Zuma's on his way to West Ham. That's going to have to wait. So I think it's the right time for Liverpool. So I'm surprised that the market is cool on them. And I think it's a good time where I think that I know a little bit more about the market in this one with my team, and I'm probably going to take some draw no bet. I wouldn't talk anyone off of, like, I've done this before, taking a draw no bet and the draw, or if you take Liverpool and the draw. I mean, yes, that is kind of high risk, but if one comes in, you automatically profit at least a half unit. You could even profit 2.25 units. So, or I guess 1.25 after it was all said and done. But that's my breakdown. I'm excited for it. I hate Chelsea. I hate Chelsea. I went to Anfield against Chelsea 2 years ago. We won 2-0. It was one of the best days ever. And I just hate them. They're just money over pride. And I'm looking forward to this one big time.
Yeah, I know you're amped up, and I know better than to not call you from 11:30 to 1:30. Do not give Matt a call. Just give him his space, give him his time, and let him enjoy the game of the week. I have a hard time picking a winner in this game just because of the quality on both these sides. I mean, could it be a draw? Could either one of these sides win? Yes. I thought a little bit of maybe what you said there is my angle in this game. It's under. Chelsea cash is under. We know what they did last season. In their fixtures this season, 2 of their 3 games, they've already cashed under 2.5. The game that didn't cash took a Marco Alonso free kick. Free kicks happen, but they're rare. And then also took a center back scoring from outside the 18. That's the game that didn't cash under 2.5, those 2 goals. So we know that. We also know top 4 battles last season cashed under 2.5 at a high rate. And we know both of these fixtures last season cashed under 2.5. So I can't tell you who's going to win this game or whether it'll be a draw. It'll be cagey. Neither of these teams are going to be giving up an inch. They're going to fight for every blade of grass on the pitch. But one thing I am certain on is under 2.5, whether it's 1-0 or 1-1, something along those. Under 2.5, I would hammer that line. You can get that at minus 115. That's what I feel comfortable. And then I can just sit back and just enjoy the game. I don't have to worry about picking a winner. I can just sit back, enjoy this game. It is the game of the week by far. Excited to see how it unfolds. This will tell you which of these 2 teams could possibly then fight for City, up against that title right there. Maybe if one of these 2 teams comes out as a win. If it's a draw, okay, you don't really know who may battle City. But if one of these 2 wins, it's like, okay, that one is the one that's going to compete with City for that title. So yeah, under 2.5.
I think that as if the viewers are watching this, I think that Jason has the more logical. I think that under 2.5, I think that is the play. I think that under 2.5 is probably the best look. Something tells me though that, like, and it is the fan in me but just also looking at some of the dynamics, that I think that Liverpool are going to be more prepared and they're going to have the crowd to back them. So I would be looking only one way. If you're wanting to choose a side and get on somebody, I don't see why people would really want to be interested in Chelsea here. I really don't. I think it's a weird, it's kind of a bad spot.
Yeah, I mean, at Anfield, I think if you want to pick a side, for sure, it's Liverpool, draw no bet, whatever. I don't know what the price is for double chance, whatever have you, but for sure, it's Liverpool all day long if you're picking a side. All right, let's move it over. Strength versus strength. Burnley versus Leeds. One team doesn't want to score or can't really score. They defend like hell. The other team, all they want to do is score. So which strength is going to win in this one, Matt? Who's gonna come out on top? Or what's the bet? Or
So
team,
this
whatever.
is a clash in styles. Clash in styles. I mean, a team that just wants to run you ragged versus a team that wants to hold on, get you with set pieces, play intelligent football. Burnley, that's for sure. I thought that they looked pretty darn good against Liverpool at Anfield. Sean Dyche always is going to set Burnley up to be successful. That's the kind of manager that he is. He's one of the best managers in this league. He's one of the most underrated managers because he knows what his team can and can't do. And so for that reason, I'm seeing like the market's kind of cool on Leeds. I like Leeds. I watched this fixture last season. It was late in the year. I believe it was on the road at Turf Moor, and Leeds just rolled them over. I mean, Leeds, I think they won it 4-0. So I just don't see Leeds being beat here. I think they have too much quality when you're looking at it all around. Burnley had a 1-0 lead in week 1 at Turf Moor and coughed that one up. That was a shocker. That was to Everton. I think that Leeds are just as good as Everton. I think they're on the same type of level. And yeah, the 4-0 and just being able, I mean, they had to run a lot last week against Liverpool at Anfield. Now you're going to get a team that wants to do the same thing and run a lot. I think that Leeds, I just don't think Leeds get beat here. So thus I've gone with -0.25 at plus 100. So if it does end up drawing, I only lose a half unit versus, a full stake. But yeah, I think that Leeds are another class above Burnley. I do.
Yep, no, you're spot on with that analysis. I mean, to your point, Leeds won both fixtures last year, and Burnley didn't score in either one. I mean, Burnley just struggles. I mean, to your point, it's set pieces for them, and it's just get lucky, kind of fluky. They just struggle. So yeah, Burnley needs a point, but I'm not sure they'll get it. They need to hope that when Leeds pushes and they're attacking, maybe they can just get in behind them. I mean, some kind of way. They don't really have pace up top. It's not like Chris Wood is a pacey player by any stretch. So I think they're going to be, even though that could be how they could get after Leeds, I don't think they have the personnel to get after them. Their best game plan is just to be who they are up under Sean Dyche, play defensively sound, and hope maybe you can scrape out a result, scrape out a point. I'm with you. I don't see that happening one bit. I do not see it. Leeds just is going to attack. It's going to be wave after wave of attacks there by Leeds. It's going to be too much for them.
If they could just get one through, then it's going to be a long day for Burnley, I think. And what you were just mentioning, Rodriguez should probably start this match for Burnley just so they do have some kind of pace, to throw long balls.
I think I saw they played Rodriguez midweek and sat Wood, if I recall correctly. So maybe that's an indication that Wood comes in and Rodriguez goes back to the bench. I'm not sure, but I do know Rodriguez did play midweek. You can get Leeds draw no bet at -143. Again, juicy, but I don't see you losing your money. You may get a push and get your wager back, but you're definitely not going to lose your wager. Burnley's not going to be able to scrape out a win. So it's juicy at -143, but it's below my -150 cutoff. So I like Leeds on that draw no bet at -143.
Yep.
Second to last matchup here, we got Tottenham versus Wofford. Probably another match where we both kind of agree, like West Ham versus Crystal Palace. It's going to be Tottenham pretty much all day long. It's can you find the right angle? I actually like Kane anytime goal scorer at -125. You can get that. He came off the bench last week, but started midweek in the Conference League or whatever the hell they're calling that thing over there. Got a goal. So I like that. You can also do Tottenham over 2.5 of a team total at +180. I mean, they're going to run it up here on Wofford. If you get Kane and Son in the both attacking or starting 11, like I believe you will, you're going to get a lot of goals here from Tottenham. I don't think they're going to give up much under Nuno Santos to this Watford team. They're going to absolutely struggle here. Watford's just going to be holding on. Once they get the break, then they're just going to be, just holding on until that point. So I like Kane anytime goal scorer. You can look at Tottenham over 2.5. And again, this could also be where you drop their money line in a parlay if you so desire. So how do you see this one unfolding?
That's right where I was going. I think that this is the parlay piece. I think it's West Ham and I think it's Spurs, and you're getting it at like +120. I think that that's completely fine. I think that if that's all you did this weekend, I think it's a pretty tough card in general. I think if that's all you did this weekend, I think you'd go 1-0 and you get 1.2 units. I think that Spurs are going to be too much. I would just before you place the Kane bet, you need to definitely see if he's in the lineup. I think that he might come off the bench, but we'll see. I hope that he does start. But again, if Spurs can just get one in the first 45, and then let's say Kane checks in, like I think this could get ugly for Watford. I think that they were really poor against Brighton, so we'll see if they can bounce back here on the road. But it's going to be a tough environment. Spurs fans are going to be really up for it after, scraping away 2 victories that they probably didn't deserve to win either of them. Really, I thought that Wolves did enough to at least secure a point last week, and they beat City with, a makeshift City, but they did enough. They did enough in both matches, and that's all that matters. They've got 6 points, and for that reason, the crowd's just going to be amplified, I think, that much more. Nuno's 2-0. Kane's back. This is bad news for Watford. I think it's bad news. I think this one gets ugly. And so thus, I've played Spurs -1.25 at even money. I think that they win this by 2 clear goals.
Yep, I agree with you right there. All right, the last fixture is Wolves versus Manchester United. This was maybe when I asked you earlier at the beginning of the show about the international break. This always worries me when it's the last fixture going into international break, because these players will be the last to link up with their international teammates. And are they just, why they got to get the job done? That's always on their mind, of getting on the plane immediately and going to go link up, with their friends and teammates in whatever country they're going to go to. So that just makes me nervous here. Makes me nervous, obviously, how they didn't perform and didn't get the result up against Southampton. Sancho better start. I mean, you need to get this guy in line. You're not spending the amount of money and keep having this guy come off the bench. He's fit. You played him in that midweek friendly there against Burnley a couple weeks back. He's ready to go. Get Sancho in that starting lineup. Get Varane up in that starting lineup. Shore up that defense. Shore up that center partnership there with Harry Maguire. Get a victory. Get 3 points. Wolves haven't scored yet this Premier League season. They've lost 2 0-1 games. I think if Varane's in there, they'll once again struggle to score. As long as you can have, I believe, McTominay and Matic. I hate Fred. I mean, he scored an own goal last week. I absolutely hate Fred. Hate his distribution.
I hate Fred. I hate
everything.
Matic too, honestly.
He's the reason why they can't charge for a title. As long as they want to play Fred right there, as their shield on their center forward, they will never compete for the title with Fred right there. He's the missing link on that team that they need to upgrade so badly. Really badly.
I agree. I mean, that's why they're in the market for Saul, or is it Ronaldo? I mean, why are they in this market for Ronaldo? It does not make any sense, but the fans there in Manchester are going to just go ballistic. He's going to cause a lot of problems, I think, with this squad, because they bring in Sancho. When Rashford comes back, Cavani, how are they going to put all these pieces? Because Ronaldo's going to be like, I'm the first one on the team sheet.
Yeah.
And that is going to be an issue. They need Saul from Atletico Madrid. They need someone to replace Fred, just like what Jason's saying. They need someone. Nemanja Matic, please, goodbye. Like, your legs are gone. I'm sorry. He can play in League Cups. He can play in FA Cups. He can come off the bench in the 80th minute to solidify something. But I think that his days are numbered. I do. I've thought that now for about over a year. So it's like it just continues to get worse and worse.
I mean, I've thought that
United
too, but
squad,
I've thought that too, but I want him in the lineup over Fred. While he is done, he's better than Fred. He's
well,
better
it makes,
than Fred.
I guess, better. He has better decision making in some sense than Fred. But yeah, Fred at least has like more legs in him. Yeah, they're I don't know. Fred, like, he wants to be an attacking mid, but he has to play as a defensive. So I just don't know what Fred is. I never have understood what position he truly is best at. And I don't think that Ole's ever figured it out either, which is a cause for concern. And all they need is just like some good, just solid runners and that can defend and just get the ball to the front three, like what Liverpool do, like what Wijnaldum and Keita and Milner do. Just do a job, run around, get the ball up there, and that's it. So this one, I could see United being a gift here. If you get some good United starting 11 news, I would probably roll with it here before that market moves, because something tells me when the market finds out about the lineup, I could see this one, getting into the -150s, 160s, like where it was last week against Southampton.
Yeah, it's -130 right now.
Yeah, it's -130. It was even, I think it was even lower than that. I think you can find even a better price right now than -130 if you shop around. Something tells me that Ole's not going to make the same mistake that he did last week against Southampton. I think he completely overlooked Southampton on the road. I think that was a mistake from him. And I don't think that he'll do that again. And Wolves just don't have their shooting boots on them right now. They probably outplayed Spurs last week and got beat. They played well enough to hang with Leicester in week 1, got beat. So hey, it's a tricky one. I think if you get good news, then I would probably be on United here, just because I think that they just are going to have too much. They're a good roadside. They can come from behind. But I need the good lineup. I mean, if I get Matic and Fred in there, I'd be looking more toward. I'd be immediately flipping my stance, and I would be thinking about opposing United. Yeah. So it's one of those that's just teetering on a Friday early morning, afternoon, whatever, right. Wherever you are. So yeah, I've left that one. It's hard to find an angle right now on that one. I can't trust what Ollie's going to put out there.
Yeah, I agree right now. The only thing that stood out, and I'll give a lean, is United team total over 1.5. You can get that at minus 115. But again, I would really want to see Sancho.
That is a good one, actually, Jason. I think that's a brilliant one. I mean, if they throw out the lineup, that is going to close at minus 150. Yeah, that's kind of my point here. Is if they go with Sancho and they go with, I wish Cavani still not.
Yeah, he's still on quarantine.
Okay, so yeah, so for example, if Greenwood starts, I didn't like the Martial call. I'm kind of out on Martial a bit. Mm-hmm. It sounds like he's going to be on his way out. If they're bringing in Ronaldo, they're going to have to kick Martial, so they're gonna have to drop somebody. Greenwood, if it's Greenwood, Sancho, Fernandez, Pogba, who else?
That's it. I mean, that's the attacking four. That's fine.
I mean, if they have those guys, I would like to think that. Yeah, I would like to think that they probably get that team total.
Yeah, and grab that right now at minus 115 before those lineups come out. And I'm telling you right now, he's getting that starting lineup. All right, let's go ahead now and put up our official bets, the ones that we decided to put our money behind. I'll go ahead and run through mine first. I've got more. I've got Manchester City. Already gave that one out. Think they'll win by 2+, so you can get that at plus money at plus 105. I've been sucked in by the books. They've sucked me in on that Leicester money line. I'm in. I've been pulled in by them. I'm on it. Minus 114. Don't do me wrong, Leicester. I mentioned Chelsea, Liverpool under 2.5. Got that at minus 115. We talked about that Spurs, West Ham. That's probably the greatest play of this entire weekend is that money line parlay. Got that at plus 133. Got Liverpool, Chelsea in there twice. That's how much I love that bet, apparently. Grab that bet. Folks, I got in there twice. You got to grab Jason. That.
That's a two-unit play now.
That's right. And then Brighton, Everton, both teams will score minus 105. Wraps it up for me. What are your, looks like you got 3 bets. What are you rolling with this weekend?
I would say, just summarize yours. I love all those, Jason. I do. I think that those are good plays. I mean, the Leicester, but you're getting the best of the number at least, so I wouldn't even worry about it. And West Ham -1 at plus 105. I think that if you want to go West Ham and over 1.5, or I don't know, but again, when you're looking at Jason's parlay, find a way to get on West Ham this weekend. That is the one. I don't even care if you lay the minus 170. If that's all you do, just get on West Ham in some way, shape, or form. I definitely rarely recommend laying over the minus 150, but I think that West Ham roll them over. So Spurs -1.25. We just got done with that one. I think that they'll be too much for Watford here at home, and then Leeds on the road. So 2 home teams, 1 road team. I just think that Leeds are just another level than Burnley, and but they need to be better. In some certain. I mean, again, they still played without the handbrake on against Everton, and they almost lost that match. So they need to just they need to use their heads just a bit more. And if they smarten up here, they'll be far too strong for Burnley. Far too strong. They should win it by a margin. That's what I think about it.
Love it right there. All right, guys. Obviously, international breaks coming up, so it'll be a couple weeks till our next episode. Let's again remind everybody, BetUS. If you're looking for other sports books, if you want the great sign-on bonus, use some crypto, use the sign-up link in this video description. Have another sports books at your arsenal right there. And again, we wish you good luck on your bets. Unless you're fading us, then the hell with your bets if you're fading us. Otherwise, you need to ride these bets because we've both been profitable on Matchweek 1 and Matchweek 2. So get these bets in, and we look forward to seeing you guys in a couple weeks. Good luck this weekend, Matt, against Chelsea, man. Good luck.
Cheers, Jason. I'm gonna miss you for a week. I'm already I'm getting sad about the international break now. You're freaking me out.
All right, man. We'll see you.
See ya.